1 in 3 adults over the age of 85 suffer from dementia or cognitive decline. That has led UTSA researchers to see whether there is a relationship between lifestyle and cognitive ability. The study, called Quantu, focuses on the influence of lifestyle on mental acuity. That includes looking at the amount and quality of sleep, the level of activity, and heart rate. We'll look at how using biometrics may lend important insight into dementia.
So I believe that our daily behaviors like sleep and steps, walks, would influence the ability of new brain cells to form over time. And what we're trying to do in this project is to link what you would do on a regular basis with something that would actually change your future cognitive health.
The amount of data collected is massive. For example, participants' heartbeats are recorded every 30 seconds, and that's where the computational piece fits in.
We can take certain things like maybe your heart rate and also maybe what time you generally work out, and we'll look at that and say, okay, how does that affect maybe what time you go to sleep at night, or even more particularly, what time you go into REM at night, and different patterns of REM. So, we're looking for those types of patterns that might clue us into what happens with a healthy person and then what happens with someone who has a neurological disorder.
Because so many people suffer from cognitive decline, it's essential to find a link, if there is one, between physical well-being and mental well-being.
Ideally, we want to be able to target some of the proteins and genes that are involved in the ability of these neurons to form and see an effect in behaviors. And how are they, the way that they would be linked would potentially through something like cell cycle or circadian rhythm that are changing because of people's behaviors.
Just one bad night's sleep is enough to affect you the next day. I mean, everybody's kind of had that where they couldn't sleep the night before and they're kind of foggy the next day. So if you can imagine, that is cumulative. So if you're having night after night of poor sleep, that's just going to affect you more and more and more as time goes on. With lack of sleep, there is a huge amount of differences in your executive function. So it's harder for you to just organize your life, be able to concentrate for longer periods of time due to lack of sleep. Right now, we are just going through and trying to sort it, and we do a lot of graphing and just looking at the data and getting a feel for what we're going to do next.
Research fellows will compile the thousands of bits of data to arrive at conclusions showing how much of an impact the physical has on the brain's function.
The deep REM, the rapid eye movement sleep, is something that we pick up, and it's something that you also might notice if you have a family member or you yourself are affected by cognitive changes.
I would like to see that ultimately that some of these characteristics in their sleep and their activity will give us a clue as to whether or not they're going to develop these neurological disorders years and years later, so that we can maybe catch them earlier in the process and intervene.